Mr. Yu, you mentioned that you were asking the remaining 290 people who haven't been permanently relocated, what is their barrier? Do you have any, what has been your feedback so far?
It's 219, and it's Parks and Rec and Office of Housing, I believe, that are conducting the surveys. They only just started, so I really can't say. I don't know if Roxy has anything she could add. I'm not even sure she has the information yet on the surveys. Okay, right.
As of yesterday, we have a total of 219 people that have been displaced, and we have about 35 of them are at Keao, and the rest of them are at Pahoa. Every day we have people that are moving out, that are getting placed into micro units or different housing, various alternatives, okay? Some of them are moving into rental units. Some of them are moving back to the mainland. Some of them are purchasing property and getting plans going to build a new property. Some of the farms, I have individually talked to some of the farmers who have lost land down there, and they've already purchased property in orchid land, and they'll be starting their farm up there. I was quite surprised to see how they were very resourceful, because the minute everything started breaking out and they were told, hey, it's headed your way, they moved a lot of their property, a lot of their plants and their farming things out of the area. They moved them, and they immediately applied with the Small Business Association, and they got grants. They got low interest rate loans. The SBA also gives out homeowner loans, okay? I think it's like 3.6% interest, 30-year fixed rate loan. So if they go to the recovery center, all these agencies are set up over there, and you just go site to site to site to site. Don't go in with the mindset that you're not going to qualify. Just hit everyone and see what happens. A couple of the people that I came across down in, I went down to Rosette's nursery because Kapoho Palms had an annual sale, and since I was looking for some palms, I went down there and bought all my palms from her. And she told me the minute that she's the one who gave me the insight about the different farmers, what they all got together. They went down, they applied for loans, they got their loans, they got some of their insurance money already, and they already are making their move already to orchid land. In addition to that, last week, Thursday and Friday, we had FEMA, Hope Services and Housing, went to the Keao shelter, and they talked to every single member there. There was 100% of compliancy. All of them were interviewed, and we found out what barriers were preventing them from moving on to transitional housing, or what were their needs. So all of that has been taken care of as far as for Keao goes. For Pahoa, it's yesterday, today, and tomorrow. They will be doing the same thing. Over the weekend, we had 8 individuals removed from Pahoa shelter. They were trespassed, and they will not be allowed back. They were found to be ineligible. They were not from an evacuation zone. In fact, they were from other parts of the island. They had heard that there was a shelter open. They had moved in, and some of them were doing illegal activities. So police was called, and they were trespassed and taken out of the shelter. So we lost 8 of those over the weekend. In addition to that, all our seniors got moved out of the senior center and into the micro units at the Sacred Hearts Church. There's 4 more of them that'll be moving out tomorrow, because there was one thing that they lacked. So before they actually made the transition, our guys are going to be moving them tomorrow. So put them in their own little micro units. As you all know, the Pahoa Community Center will be used as an early voting and a polling station. So that is already being cleared out. So most of the people in the Pahoa shelter are up on the upper level. Half of the tents are gone already. So people are moving on. People are energetic. However, there are some that needs to be a little bit more motivated. So, and that's the reason that we've been having people come to them yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Well, they'll be doing an individual one-to-one, working with them and getting their application. Uh, what are the barriers that they're facing. So we're getting a little bit better handle on what the status is on what it is. It's not, the reason this is like this, it's not because of a lack of caring or a lack of people not doing their job. What has happened is when this broke out, it was like we got the call at 3:45, and at 4 o'clock I needed a shelter open. So anybody who walked through those doors who needed a place, the word was and the orders were, we accept everyone. We weren't going to be taking applications and having them stand in line. We accepted everyone. We had cots, we had place ready, and we had food available for them. So it was that fast. So by 4:30 we were operational. And when something goes on like that, and you got like 250 people walking through your doors on that first day, it's a challenge, and just having that 24-hour thing going on. In addition to that, just so that you can kind of gauge what's happened. We started out, the highest number of evacuees we had at all shelters was like 485. And as of yesterday, we had 219, but I believe that the number has dropped to 180 something this morning. But I need to verify those numbers before I actually tell you, yes, it dropped another 20 or 30. So, things are moving forward. And there are options. What the planning department is trying to do is look on more of a long range type, long term kind of thing, and that takes a little bit more knowledge, and you got to think of all the different angles, because we don't want to be faced with a situation whereby we make a mistake now and later on down the road where we get them back at the shelter.
Yeah. Great. Well, I'm glad that I asked you. Thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
What has been a few of the barriers to rehousing that you've been hearing?
Some of the barriers are that some of the people that are at the shelter, number one, they are chronically unemployed. I come from an employment, the HR field, and when you say someone is chronically unemployed, which means that they have a job for 3 months, then they don't work, and then they have a job for 6 months, and then they work, and then, so a lot of them have been chronically unemployed. There are some people that have medical disabilities that are still at the shelter. However, most of those that have the severe medical disabilities are being placed into the micro units. There are a couple of families there that didn't want to be found, so they gave us wrong information. They gave us false names, and after going through and trying to work with these individuals, we found out after the fact that these were some of the barriers. So these are the people that are left. Most of the people that checked into the shelter the first few weeks stayed for a couple of nights, moved out and moved on, and are working towards a more permanent state. There are some that was in a rental situation and cannot find affordable rental units. So that's the issue.
Great, thank you.
So it's a lack of availability of the appropriate, where it can fit their means. Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have an estimate of how many people have been displaced?
I can only tell you or verify what our total number was 485 at the shelters, but there's a lot of people that did not come to the shelters. They lived with family. They moved into they had other houses. So really hard for me to say, to quantify, give a realistic estimate on that.
Thank you. Mr. Takimoto, do we have any estimates on how many have been displaced?
As of yesterday, the confirmed number of destroyed homes was 700. Inaccessible is around 50.
We don't have.
I'll add that FEMA has had something like 2,000 folks registered. Yeah, I heard that at this morning's brief.
Yuma had 2,000 registered.
Yeah.
So the FEMA data, the registration data, is the source where we can get all kinds of information, the detail, but that is forthcoming.
Right, thanks. You mentioned encouraging accessory dwelling units, and you mentioned ways of streamlining the process for guest homes and ohanas. And one of those ways was streamlining the pre-approved packaged homes. Are there any other ways that you're looking at to streamline these accessory dwelling units?
Okay, so this one we want a very controlled application. So under the emergency proclamation, the Department of Health will waive the requirement to upgrade from cesspool to septic, provided that the total number of bedrooms does not exceed 5 bedrooms and there's no kitchen. So that basically means a guest house. But we want to, the reason why I say we want to control it, because after the disaster ends, we want to make sure those are in good places where we want them. So all those smart growth principles that I mentioned earlier, that is the target areas where we want to direct these exempt guest houses to.
Great, yeah, we want them in alignment with our development plans. We also mentioned and incentivizing long-term rentals to enhance the affordable rental rate, or rental class rate. So what does that mean?
Right now, not so much in East Hawaii, but maybe it is. We need to take a look. But definitely West Hawaii, as an example, the affordable rental rate to qualify for that class, property tax class, is way too low. It doesn't make sense relative to the market rent. So we need to get that realigned better.
Okay.
Then the other thing is to somehow incentivize the Section 8, and one idea for that is to include that in the Chapter 19, that if they accept Section 8, then they can qualify for that property tax class, because Section 8 allows the landlord to rent at actually a higher rent than the rent stated, the affordable rent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you.